Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to play some Aurora 4X today, and this is a continuation of the campaign that we've been playing for the last little while, the last few streams. So let's start with a summary of where we're at. I've also played a little bit of this campaign off camera since the last time we ended the stream. So, I think let's take a few minutes to just do an overview of where we're at. I think we'll go through everything. And, So, I've rearranged, for those of you who have been following this campaign, I've had to rearrange the galaxy map a little bit to connect up the systems where the aliens are as much as possible. Now, partly I'm kind of stubbornly sticking to sort of like a 1 unit distance between all the systems, which is not really necessary, but anyways. So here's the Sol system. We have 3 jump points out. We've got the Tokyo system, which heads out to the east. Excuse me one moment. Right. So heads out east. Now I have it turning south, but I mean, that's not really important, whatever. Here we have the Lima system, which we've colonized. Lima 3 is fully terraformed. We have 12 million people living there. We'll probably terraform and colonize these other planets too in the Lima system. They're pretty nice. So we'll get to that eventually, but right now we're using the Lima system as a stepping stone to get and to colonize the Taipei system. Now, the rest of this branch is mostly scouted, although there's still potential in the Moscow system. I don't think we don't have any survey ships out there yet, but we'll get to that soon. In the Taipei system, there's a lot of interesting places we would like to colonize. We have Taipei 3, a terrestrial planet, which could be terraformed. It just has decent uranium deposits, but this will just be like a good colony that can grow, and host a decent number of colonists. We've got a gas giant with great accessibility. We've got a moon here. This is Taipei 4. This moon has good deposits of mercasium and could also be terraformed, so that's an interesting target. There's another moon here with great neutronium and corbamite deposits, although this is low gravity, so it'll be tricky to colonize with people. Maybe we'll do this with automines. And the other body that interests us is... Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it's these 3 bodies. This one, maybe I skipped over this one. This one we care about not only because of the mercasium, but also because of the gallicite. Turns out we don't really have good sources of gallicite in our empire. If we do a quick search here for, let's say, anything 0.4 or above. Ankara is a great source, but Ankara borders the aliens, and the aliens are shooting first and asking questions later, so that's a problem. We do have gallicite here, which is being mined by, civilian interests, so we're buying that output. Malay looks interesting. Again, Ankara we don't care about. And then you see Taipei is the next one. We recently discovered San Salvador, which is an amazing system, which we're going to colonize. But it's a little far, so it's going to take us a while to set up the logistics to get there. Speaking of Taipei, we were terraforming that system here. And it was a bit of a challenge, but we were able to pull it off. But here's the thing. So if we look here at the environment, Taipei, the base temperature was 97 degrees Kelvin. And in fact, the surface temperature before we started terraforming was like 80-something degrees Kelvin. And the problem is that the terraforming gas that we use, like astusium, which is this fake gas that is sort of like a safe greenhouse gas, it freezes out of the atmosphere if it's less than 100 K. So you can add all the greenhouse gas that you want. It just precipitates right down onto the surface as a solid. So you have to find a way to warm up the temperature to at least 100K. And the way you can do that is by adding another gas, which isn't necessarily a greenhouse gas, but it does contribute a minor greenhouse effect like nitrogen. And we added 2.3 atmospheres of nitrogen, which was enough to shift us above 100 degrees K. And after that, now we're adding more astucium. And so once we're above 100, we could now remove the nitrogen from the atmosphere. We don't really need to, although we might need to because we might run out of like atmospheric pressure that we can use safely. But yeah, if we need to make space in the atmosphere, we can now remove the nitrogen, because as long as we're above 100, then this stuff isn't gonna become solid. Anyway, so that's a little thing. Hey, Mr. Master CGO asks, how hard is it to get into this game? Well, to be honest, a little hard. This is a very, very detailed game. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I just find it a lot of fun. Like sometimes I'm just in a kind of world building mood, sort of like a hard sci-fi, very detailed kind of empire building mood, and I just want to get into this. But it is there's a lot of different systems in the game, and everything is quite detailed. But I find it is quite enjoyable. Okay, that's what's going on down here in the eastern arm. Then we have what used to be the western arm, but I've moved things a little bit, rejigged the galaxy map a bit, so now it goes south. Yeah, and we have Elayun. Elayun has been terraformed for a while. 43 million people. We have colony ships heading here on purpose. We're trying to grow the population. There's also a gas giant here, which has decent accessibility sorium. We have 2 fuel harvesting bases in orbit of the gas giant. And this system, I intend for it to serve as like a forward naval base, because we've met the mean aliens in the Endogemena system, and we need to have a place that we can deploy to have operations to defend ourselves, or perhaps to attack one day. We've got some ships that are picketing the jump point in the Singapore system in case they decide to come through. Now, if we go through the Georgetown branch, Georgetown itself has been colonized. It was one of the first systems that we did colonize. We've got Georgetown 5, Moon 4, and we have Georgetown 7, Moon 6, both of which have been fully terraformed. This planet here has, it had tritanium, but importantly it has sorium, solid sorium, and then Georgetown 5, Moon 4, just has duranium and corundium. Now, these colonies have been colonized for a while, but we're only now getting some mines out there. So you can see there's some mines that have been set up. Moon 6 here is being set up not only as a mining base, but also as a fuel harvesting. And in fact, yeah, we've started fuel production here, which is great. So that'll be the fuel source for the Georgetown system, and it's nice that this system now is sort of independent in terms of fuel, so we can have, ships starting from here, and they can just refuel. They don't have to always go back to the Sol system. Speaking of fuel, right now the main fuel production source for our empire is Colombo. It is Colombo 5, which only has 0.8 accessibility, but we chose it for its proximity to the Sol system. It's only 16.3 away, and the relative safety, because, for example, we have options in Ankara, but that's bordering Panama City, which has the aliens in it. And there are other options, but they are farther away, and we need a place that's, close enough for our tankers to make the trip kind of easily, and for it to be relatively easy to deploy our fuel harvesters out there, because it takes a while for the tugs to bring them out. Anyways, we've got some other systems out beyond Colombo. We still have to survey them. From Georgetown, we also have actually the Port Vila, which goes to Ankara to the aliens. Then some more systems here. We still need to survey survey them. And then north we have Port Louis, so this goes to Colombo on one side, then to Budapest. Then from Budapest we go to Canberra. And from Canberra, there's a lot of branching out. So we go right to Nassau and to Kingstown. We go north to Riga, Amsterdam, and then we recently ran into aliens in Roseau, so that's a problem. West, I didn't mean to drag that. West of Canberra, we have Jerusalem. Now, we've just set up a colony here on Jerusalem 1, and that wasn't so much for these mineral deposits, although we'll take it. This is sort of to have, hello, muzzle paint. Welcome. The colony here in Jerusalem is because we really want to colonize the San Salvador system. It's amazing. Great mineral deposits on the planets, and that can easily be terraformed. But San Salvador is pretty far from the Sol system. It's just under 30 billion kilometers. So I want to have like an intermediate point, a refueling point. Jerusalem might be like a forward base if we wanted to target the aliens, which we also found in the Ottawa system here. So San Salvador, so Jerusalem 1 is a decent option here because the gas giants are pretty bad and the accessibility is pretty low. So we are going to do kind of like we did in Georgetown. We're going to have mines set up here that will mine the thorium and just some fuel refineries on the planet itself. And because this is colonizable, it'll be pretty easy to set up like an actual colony here that can host some maintenance facilities and whatnot. And so we can station a fleet here if we want to. So San Salvador, this is the amazing system. So let's take a look here. So San Salvador 1, not bad. I mean, the quantities are impressive. The accessibility is so-so. Well, there's a possibility for ground survey here, which we should look into. But these dwarf planets are amazing. I mean, the total accessibility here is ridiculous. If you just add up all the accessibilities here, quite impressive. So this dwarf planet here is definitely going to be our first colony. In fact, let's just create these colonies so we don't kind of forget. Now this will be an easy to terraform colony, but the minerals aren't that exciting. Then on San Salvador 5, another dwarf colony with amazing mineral resources. So this is going to be another priority for us. And then we have a gas giant with 1.0 accessibility, so amazing fuel resources as well. Was there anything else of note? Let me just take another look again. We've taken a look at this before. Oh yeah, both gas giants have great thorium deposits. Yeah, that's it. So these two colonies here are amazing, so I can't wait to colonize them. Oh, it's a binary too, but the binary is pretty far away. It's 63 billion. I mean, 63 billion is doable. It's not too bad. Okay, so that's what we're working on in terms of our colonizing efforts. We're going to set up a small colony at Jerusalem, mining and fuel refinery, and then we'll use that as sort of a stepping stone, and then we will colonize San Salvador. We had some fuel issues, some fuel shortages, but I'm finally kind of mostly over it. So Earth currently has fuel reserves of about 70 million. I think our Navy is all fueled up. Maybe it's not, but we are able to produce thorium both with our fuel refineries on Earth because we have enough solid thorium. But also we now have a total, I think at Colombo we have... Here, let's take a look. I think we have 7 fuel harvesters out there. Let's look. Stationary assets. 5. We've got 5. We've got 7 fuel harvesting bases in total, 5 of which are at Colombo. So that is pretty cool. We have 6 terraformers in total. I'd like to build some more, but I think we need to be more ambitious with our fuel production and get a few more of those produced. In fact, let me take a look on Earth. We're making ordnance factories because we need to catch up with our missile production, but after that we might go back to station production In fact, I'm going to queue one up right now. So yeah, that is the colony situation. Fuel is kind of okay. The mining situation, so on Earth, we were kind of dipping low in duranium, but we've now stabilized. Gallicite is also a little bit low. Mostly we've stabilized by doing a few things. First of all, we're outright buying the mineral output from most of our commercial mines here that are producing the minerals that we need. So you can see here, everything's being shipped to Earth. Not this one, but that's because this one's almost depleted. Batello, I think we're not buying this one because it's also mostly depleted. Patterson, we are not buying, again, because the accessibility is low, but we'd still be paying kind of a premium price. Bartlett, we're buying a very high total accessibility. Lamini, we are also buying duranium and gallicite, exactly what we need. Dubois, I think we're buying as well. Yep. By the way, you can tell if we're buying because it's clicked here, and also the mass driver is set to send stuff to Earth. We've also deployed some asteroid mining ships. These are pretty large vessels. They each have 25 asteroid mining modules on them. They're about 140,000 tons each. We've begun production, so we are harvesting an asteroid here, Bolivana, and we actually have a freighter that is doing rounds to this asteroid and bringing the stuff back to Earth, so that's cool. In Georgetown, there are also some civilian mining interests, and and we're buying the output from that and sending it to Georgetown 5, Moon 4, which has a mass driver to catch it. So we've got duranium here that we're buying, more duranium. Anyways, you can see here, I'm going to scroll through them. Here, the gallicite, which we're mining. So, we can't set up colonies on every body, so the civilian sector is doing some of the work for us. And then we have a freighter that's picking up. It's doing the rounds. It goes to Georgetown 7, goes to Georgetown 5, and picks up the minerals and then drops it off at Seoul. Now, Georgetown 7 here has thorium on reserve. So the harvester will never take all the thorium away. It'll always keep at least 1,000, and that is used by the fuel refineries on the colony to produce fuel. Elayun has mines, and it has some minerals, so it's just mining. It's accumulated a bit of a stockpile over the years, but we've now set up a freighter that is going to pick up the minerals and send them back to Earth. So those are our sources of minerals right now. If we look at our current fleet, we have... we've got the logistics. I've split these up into sort of logical kind of task groups. So we have a number of cargo and colony ships. So these cargo ships, Cargo East is loading installations, and from the so it's loading installations from where? Earth load that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's not loading, it's loading a spaceport. It is actually loading the spaceport. I'd like to get a spaceport out at Lima. I built it, so this fleet is just transferring all the little components to reassemble a spaceport out at Lima. That makes sense. Okay. Georgetown is moving infrastructure to Jerusalem. So the old infrastructure on Georgetown that we don't need anymore because it's terraformed is being sent out to Jerusalem. In the Sol system, we are loading up the infrastructure on Luna, which is no longer needed because that's been terraformed, and we're sending it out to the Jovian moons, specifically Callisto and Europa. which is known as Morris Company, because, yeah, that happened. So that stuff is being, so those colonies are being supported. We won't get around to terraforming them for a while. I say that. I think we have terraformers on Callisto working there. I'll have to double check. Okay, this is actually empty. No, it's not empty. It's just not doing anything. All right. Cargo West. Also not doing anything. Good to know. We've got colony fleets sending people out to colonies. And then, yeah, this is our freighter so this is our freighter doing the mineral run for Layun, mineral run for Georgetown, and the asteroid miner mineral run. So we've got some idle freighters here that we can put to use. They were idle because we were having some fuel issues, but I think now we're set to send them back. We've got some fleet logistics, which is just like a collier for missiles and a supply ship for MSP. So right now they're not doing anything, but they exist. We have a training fleet, but now our entire Navy is trained up to 100%, so nobody is currently there. We've got a whole bunch of drop ships to move our ground troops around, so they exist. We've got 3 jump stabilization ships that are out doing work. Our Navy is here. We'll take a look at it in a moment. Let me just show you the rest of our stuff. So we've got these asteroid miners. In fact, we have 3 asteroid miners, so there's a third one here. Yeah, this one should be, I'll just put it into this command. We've got harvesting bases, 7 in total. We've got terraformers, 6 in total. And then we've got the tugs to move these things around. We've got a number of survey ships in operation. Some are being refit, or not refit, but overhauled. Others are out doing surveying. We've got, excuse me, I had a bit of a yawn there. We've got tankers. We've got a couple of tankers getting the fuel from the Layun harvesting bases, and then we've got a few getting the fuel from the Colombo harvesting bases. In fact, I think we can add another tanker to this one because there's a lot of fuel harvesters there. So that's what we'll do. We'll have another tanker join this one. And then we've got a bunch of idle tankers. And these are some of our stealth spying ships, which we've been building. And then we've got our Navy. So the Navy is currently split between... Here, actually, let's detach these. Just put them in here for now. Okay, we've got the first fleet, the second fleet, and the reserve fleet. So it is not well. The first fleet is refueled, pretty much full on ammo, and sorry, we're about to get a bunch of spam notifications here. I don't like them, but sometimes they're useful because they remind me of things that I don't usually check. Anyways, okay, so our Navy consists of, I'll show you the designs in a moment, but we've got some kind of command battle cruisers, some escort battle cruisers, some laser frigates, and then some missile cruisers. And there's a tanker in here too. And then I've got reserves, which are just like extra, which we could, of course, divide into fleets. We could probably make a third and a fourth fleet. And these are the designs. We have the... okay, let's look at the Polaris-class missile frigate first. It is a simple 2,500-ton frigate with 1 spinal laser cannon in it. And that's it. It goes fast and it shoots things with its laser. We have a number of Beetlejuice escort battlecruisers, 20,000 tons. They go pretty fast. They have 4 quad laser PD guns, as well as 24 size 1 missile launchers linked to 2 fire controls, firing the Chehalis anti-missile missile. So this is an escort battlecruiser, pretty heavily armored as well, 5 armor, and it's got some damage control, whatever. It's got a bunch of features. It's got a sensor to detect missiles at long range, and all of that good stuff. You can see here the list of the parts on it. We have the command battlecruiser, which is also a jump battlecruiser, the Antares class. It is also pretty heavily armored. Its only armament really is 2 quad PD lasers, but it has a jump drive, and importantly, it also has the big old sensor, which is the only ship really that can see far. So it's got a big sensor that can see 10,000 ton ships at about 150 million kilometers, which is pretty big. So this is a pretty massive sensor. Also means this ship is likely to be seen from very far away and shot at first, which is why it has a lot of armor. And we have the Cassiopeia class missile cruiser. This ship is primarily armed with it's got 2 fire controls, and then it's got 12 size 12 missile launchers. These fire the Chilean anti-ship missile, which has a size 16 warhead, that does quite a bit of damage. The missiles themselves are fire about 20 million kilometers, so that's the range of these missiles. Not very long range, but out of range of direct anti-missile fire from the enemy ships. I hope. Anyways, that's what that's what our Navy is made up of. Now we have these Rigel class stealth passive sensor and ELINT ships, which we had a first version. It didn't quite work out. Now I've made 3 new versions, and we're building the 3rd type now. So we have, the idea here is a 3,000 ton ship with thermal dampened engines and a cloaking device, which means they have a really, really tiny signature. So it should be very hard for them to be noticed. And then I have one version with as big as I could fit thermal passive sensor, one with as big as I can fit thermal EM sensor, and one with as big as I could fit. Well, actually, there's only one. There's an ELINT module here, which is, so I had about 500 tons for these sensors. So these are about 500 ton sensors. So hopefully this combination will work and will allow us to get close enough to alien planets without getting detected and therefore without getting blown up, but where we can get some useful information. So we're actually going to test that soon. Okay, and I think that brings us up to speed. Only 30 minutes into the episode, but it's been, it's important for me to remember all these things because, if it's been a couple of days since I played, I need to know. Okay. So in terms of shipyards and shipyard production, we've kind of paused military ship production for now. We're still building missiles, which we needed, we need to fill up. We're far behind in missile production, which is why we build more ordnance factories. We're going to need more, I think. I think we're kind of... So we're refitting... Oh, no, we're building some thermal Rigels, and then I think we're good to deploy maybe a squad of Rigels and see if we can make something happen. So that's what I'm looking forward to here in terms of shipyard production. Industry production, ordnance factory, then it's going to be a fuel harvesting base. Good. I think we're pretty much good to go. Jesper Larson says, what are you doing for protection of your colonies? Good question. So we have Well, actually, yeah, that's a good point. So we have ground forces on our colonies, but these are just kind of token colony garrisons. They're mostly there to patrol and keep the peace, on the actual colony. Um, we have built we have some surface to orbit PD detachments, which have um, a number of these quad laser PD weapon systems. Right now, they're deployed on Earth, but I could deploy them to my colonies. But we're going to rely on our Navy to protect our colonies. So currently, that's actually something I'm working on. As far as I know, there's no alien activity in this branch of the galaxy, so Lima is safe. But Eloyun could be threatened by the aliens from N'Djamena, which is why we have a picket here at Singapore at the jump point to tell us whenever the aliens might come into the system. They haven't yet. I have never seen them come into the Singapore system. Right now, our Navy is stationed at Earth, but they can very quickly get to Eloyun. One of the things I'm working on is transferring maintenance facilities here so that I can permanently station a fleet at Eloyun. And I want to do the same thing up here in Georgetown and eventually here maybe in Jerusalem or San Salvador. Similarly, we also have a picket here in Ankara. So that is what we're doing currently to protect our colonies. So actually, let's take a look at that. On Earth, we have currently the maintenance facility capacity. How much tonnage? Is the first fleet? 164, 177. Yeah, the garrisons are to keep the unrest, are to deal with the unrest. Although, when I deploy the fleets, then there will not really be cause for any unrest, because the only unrest is because of the low protection value. Excuse me for those eating noises. Having a bit of a snack. Okay, let's do, so we have a total of 350 maintenance facilities that are providing me with 875 tons of capacity, which means I have a multiplier of 2.5. So 2.5 means that if I wanted to support a fleet that had about 200,000 tons, I need like 80 maintenance facilities. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to cancel this and we're going to queue up another 80. And then we're going to ship those out to Eloyun, and we're going to park a fleet there. And we're actually going to have well, maybe we don't. Do we move a Navy HQ there too? Let's see. Did we do that already? It's possible we did that already. No, we just have a spaceport. Okay, I think we'll also want to move a Navy HQ out there. We'll think about that. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward in time here. Let me bring you to Seoul so you can at least see what's going on. Here are my 3 asteroid miners at Bolivana. Oh, the Aldebaran 13 has completed its overhaul. So the Aldebaran 13 looks like it's ready to go. Let's send it to the Moscow system. Finish the Grav survey there. That is the system here beyond Tokyo through here. The North Star at Canberra was working on stabilizing Riga. Let's go ahead and stabilize Tekastries. Let's take a look at the fuel run here. Okay, we're at Earth, so we're gonna take a couple more tankers here. Have them join the fleet so that we get more fuel out of our harvesting bases are producing enough that now we can have more tankers join that run. And the Rigel 2, which was one of our earlier attempts at a stealth ship design, is back on Earth because it needs to be overhauled. Okay, so that's happening. Good. We have stabilized the jump point here. Let's go to Kingstown. Okay. We finished, let's see, we're doing some logistics. Oh no, we're doing construction capacity research here. So this is just basic research that increases, your economy in various different ways, and it's pretty important that we keep up with this. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting up to the 10,000 research point level in all of these different things, which are all important to me. All right, the Aldebaran 7, which needed repairing, now can just be overhauled. We've built an additional research lab. Looks like our scientists are using their labs to as much as they're able to. Yeah, let's queue up slowly but surely another level in terraforming technology. That is certainly something we want. Okay, we have on Earth, we finished a round of production of anti-missile missiles, but we're going to need to build more. What I'd like to do quickly is, okay, I think if we have the first fleet at Earth do refuel, resupply, load ordnance, and let's have the second fleet do the same thing and see how much we're missing here. So I think the first fleet Oh, we might be missing. Oh no, the Cassiopeias, they can only fit because their magazines aren't an exact number for their. Yeah. Okay, we need more. We need a lot more missiles. The Cassiopeias are impressively full. Actually, we're almost there, guys, with the missiles. So good job, us. Okay, so let's ordnance. We need to make a few thousand more. But what we're gonna do is we'll split the production here. So let's do like 2,000 more of these, and like 500 more of these, like so. And let's check here. So the second fleet is almost fully fueled. The tanker is still fueling up, but in terms of ammunition, we're good to go. How about the reserve fleet? Let's see. Let's refuel it and see how short we are in term. Oh, the MSP is also pretty low. Let's see what happens if we do this. Earth. Let's see how bad things are. Meanwhile, in the Astana system, which is, where is that? Here. The Aldebaran 3 is doing work now. It probably needs to come in for maintenance at some point. Why don't we have it come in right away? And then we can go explore some more later. So. Okay, the reserve fleet. Impressive. So we did have enough anti-missile missiles. We're short a bit of anti-ship missiles, but we had enough supply and enough fuel. Now let's actually look at Earth. Okay. So fuel situation stabilized. MSP is doing okay. I think in terms of our basic like industrial support, we're pretty much set. We had a jump stabilization ship head back to Earth. I must have issued it those orders. I could send it to. I mean, might as well stabilize stuff. Let's stabilize here to Funafuti. And then here. There we go. Okay, we've built a Rigel thermal. This means we actually are ready to go send a squad. These we probably need to rename. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do one ELINT, one EM, one thermal. Detach. We're going to rename this. This will be and we are going to attempt a repeat of this operation, which failed pretty badly the first time. So we'll see if we have improved somewhat. So we're going to go to Elayun. We're going to refuel here at the because we've got some fuel harvesters. So let's do that for starters. Meanwhile, let's queue up another thermal. Oh, we've discovered a new system, the Berlin system. Where is it? Ah, it's connected to San Salvador. Okay. It looks like it is a quaternary system. Pretty massive, though. So Berlin B orbits Berlin A at 174 billion kilometers, and then Berlin D orbits Berlin B at 33 billion, which is itself pretty significant. And here there's a number of interesting bodies. So it's possible we could stabilize the Lagrange point to get here, but it would take some doing. Now, Berlin A itself has a few terrestrials, and Berlin C, which orbits it, doesn't really have much. So really, as far as we're concerned, the system only has these three systems in it. But you know, they could be promising. So let's make sure that our survey ship is doing something smart, like perhaps let's do a grav survey. But let's queue up a geological survey here. Oop. Like so. Mr. Master CGO says, can you be peaceful with aliens? Yes, you can. There is a new diplomacy system that has been introduced in Aurora C#, which I'm eager to try out. Unfortunately, the aliens that we met just shot at us as soon as they saw us. So we're not going to be peaceful with these guys. I mean, I guess we could try. It would take a lot of doing. It's a good excuse for us to test out some of the military stuff in this campaign. But yes, you can. You can build diplomacy modules, put them on. You can put diplomacy modules on ships. You can make a ship design devoted to that. And then you can try to have communications. And there's now a whole system where you can claim a system and, kind of lay claim to systems so that you can kind of negotiate with aliens. You can say, hey, look, I've got a colony here. This is my zone of influence. Stay out of here. And then they could either acknowledge your claim or they can reject it. Things like that, which is pretty cool. Okay, one of our shipyards was being upgraded. Sharif. This is where we were building the Rigels, so let's take advantage of that. I'm actually going to go ahead and queue up some more Aldebaran survey ships. Another new system, the Amman system. This also links to San Salvador. Now, the scale of this system is much more reasonable. Looks like we have a binary. A lot of stuff in this system. Okay, let's get to work. Let's have you do a geological survey here. This is a promising system. All right. The Aldebaran 8 looks like it's ready to be deployed again. I think we will deploy it. Oh, I've got to... Yeah, this is going to be an issue. Okay, let's do this for now. That's not going to work. We're going to have to redo the galaxy map for sure. Right, we were trying to decide where we were going to send the survey ship. We sent one to Moscow. Let's head back down and do Belgrade here. And we can finish the Grav survey once we're there. We have built another asteroid miner, the Neptune class. Let us have it be detached. And move to Polyvana. Apparently, we've run out of a kind of mineral. Oh, gallicite. Yeah, we've run out of gallicite on Earth, and we're not able to produce any more MSP. So what we're going to do is we're going to temporarily pause MSP production, although we need to get that going as soon as possible. And this is just stressing the urgency of getting gallicite mining up. You know what I'm thinking is I want to... There's a planet here in Georgetown that has a lot of gallicite. Yeah, Carter ores. You know, this is kind of terraformable. Oh, speaking of terraforming, what's going on in Callisto? We're just warming it up. Slowly, very slowly. Okay, look, Carter ores. Let's do a couple things here. Let's use... We had some idle cargo ships. Oh, they're at Georgetown. Okay, let's have these guys. We've got some auto mines on Earth for some reason. We're gonna bring them to... we just need to go to Georgetown. And then it's going to be... Carter ores. I guess you can refuel while you're in the system, because we can do that now. Oh no, we need a refueling station for... That's actually an important thing that we should do. Okay, so let's then head back. Earth refuel. Okay, let's do that until that's done. Now, the other thing we should do is we need to look at... Yeah, we need a refueling, or we just have a tanker go back and forth, but that seems silly. Let's build this on Earth. Industry. refueling station, just so that'll be handled. Yeah, because we really need that gallicite. Okay, that's a good first step. Research complete into shipbuilding rate. Good. The Aldebaran 11 finished its overhaul. And it's ready to go. Let's send it we can go to like Astana maybe. Okay, in San Salvador, which is this amazing system we want to colonize, we've finished the gravitational survey, and there's a lot of jump points. Well, 4. Still, that's a decent amount. Mainly what we're concerned about is running into aliens in a neighboring system. Okay, terraforming in Taipei has reached a certain threshold. The temperature is getting there, minus 82. We need to add more astusium. Okay. Got a second intelligence fleet here. We're going to send it to Ankara, and there is a freighter here. Refuel there. Some of these... Oh, these guys were low on fuel. They were refueling from Georgetown 5. Maybe we don't have fuel. Oh, that's why. Okay. I think they'll make it home, but we need to... like, this is sort of not... Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna send a tanker. Oh, no, this is the Ankara tanker. Let's send this tanker. Rename this to... All right, you go... actually, let's have you just take some fuel from Earth. So refuel from Earth, then head to Georgetown. Go to Georgetown for transfer fuel to Colony. Then maybe here. Let's move there and see what the fuel situation is once we're done those orders. Okay. Also, Aldebaran 7 overhaul is complete. We need to have you resupply one last time. And then I will send you off to Algiers. Okay, we have detected the aliens, or we have detected aliens in the Amman system. And these are the same aliens. This is the same species. Okay, so first of all, we were in the middle of a geological survey. And, you know, we had found some interesting things, and we've run into the aliens. Now, where is this system specifically? Oh no, see, this is what I was afraid of. This system is directly next to San Salvador, which is like an amazing system which I want to colonize. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to tell this ship to get out of there. Maybe go somewhere else. Then we're going to mark this system as an alien system. And we don't want our people to go there by accident. Now the question is, will we get out in time? No. They shot us down with missiles, it looks like. Also, they had a ship that was moving at 8,167 kilometers per second. That is faster than my current top speed, which is a problem. Okay, we've finished the graph survey in the Moscow system. Now the geo survey here, there's not much, it's an empty system. Okay. Go ahead and transit. Okay, intelligence fleet here is ready. Transit, transit. Oh, something silly has happened here. The Georgetown freighters didn't really. Oh no, are they still on their way back? Oh, okay. They're actually almost out of fuel. Where are they? They are still in Budapest. Okay, they're not going to make it, so we need to go help them. Yeah, I should have anticipated that their problems would be more serious than I thought at first. Let's actually take the Georgetown tanker here, who's full of fuel, and instead of having you transfer fuel to Colony, why don't you go to Budapest? We're going to need you there in a moment. Okay, we've discovered the Rome system connected to San Salvador. Okay, no aliens here. Good. Do a graph survey. That's fine. Okay, we have to tell these people. What we're going to do is we're going to temporarily save this as an order template. We're going to save this as that. And then we're going to do remove all. We're going to have these guys chill for a while until the tanker gets there. Meanwhile, on Earth, we finished the production of the extra maintenance facilities we needed. Now we're making a refueling station. That's fine. Let's have maintenance facility. We're going to have the civilian sector ship these maintenance facilities out to Elayun. And then well, that's interesting. We've got some civilian mining companies already setting up shop in these systems, which is really cool. I think on Earth, after we're finished with gonna have to set up a local HQ there. All right. Cue the Mission Impossible music or the James Bond music or whichever suspenseful soundtrack you wish. This is the original system where we found the aliens. That's why we've called them the N'Djamena aliens. Our intelligence fleet has just entered the system. Now, last time, so this is the original Aldebaran. This was our first scout ship that just got blown up. Then we had a Rigel class try to get close enough to a system to get useful intelligence, but it did not get close enough before it itself was detected and, could find. So it was outranged basically, even though it has such a small cross section. So let's see if things fare better this time. We have discovered a system. Oh, that's cool. So we've discovered our first loop. So the Moscow system connects to the Colombo system. That's cool. Because that actually brings the Moscow system closer, because it was a lot longer to get there this way than to get that way. Huh. Cool. Okay, now there are more jump points here to explore. So let's take... This was the 13 that just jumped. So let's have you head back and try this system out. Neat. Okay, the Georgetown tanker you Oh wait, where's my stranded cargo fleet? They're in Port Louis, right. So why don't you go there and then join and refuel target fleet. Okay, that should take care of that. Back to the movie. I say that, but gotta issue some orders here. Why don't you head to Colombo, because now I want to stabilize the jump gate to Moscow. Let's let this fleet refuel a bit, and then we'll give it new orders. So things are taking a while to process. This is usually a bad sign. This usually means like a bunch of enemy missiles have been shot. So it could be that we have failed once again with our attempted stealth ships. Now, actually it's saying it's kind of not responding, so this is a bit concerning. Might not have anything to do... Well, I don't know what's going on. Let's give it a bit of time. This is actually the first. It seems like it's a crash. This is actually the first one that I've had in C sharp, and I do not know what has caused it. I saved kind of recently. I saved before starting the stream. That's about an hour ago. Yeah, we'll let it. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, exactly. I'll wait a couple minutes. How forgiving is the game? Well, it kind of depends what you mean. This is sort of a sandbox game. You kind of make the rules. You can cheat at any time, right? You can turn Space Master mode on and give yourself whatever you want. Change things. So it's really about telling a story that you want to tell. Um, yeah, exactly. But if you want to, so part of the fun is, do you want to create a situation for yourself that is either unwinnable or very challenging? And then you created that, so then it's up to you to try to survive it. Or you can, give yourself amazing technology, for example, or whatever, right? Like um, you can play it how you want. You can kind of create your own world and tell your own story. Now, it will be a bit unforgiving in the sense that, like, until you kind of understand and master some of the basic military concepts, like your first ship designs might be pretty bad, and you might think you're like well equipped, and then you're going to meet some aliens, and then they're just going to destroy you. Um, but on the flip side, there are some kinds of ship designs that you can make that are pretty abusive that the aliens don't really know how to deal with. So it's really up to you. So, like, one of the issues is, so while this is loading, I guess we can talk about this, or load. I say loading, but it might not be loading anything. It might have crashed. Um, so there's two kinds of weapon systems, roughly speaking, right? You have energy weapons and you have missiles, um, and they're all very, very customizable. Um, Energy weapons are pretty cool, but you have to be going at least as fast. If you have to be going faster than your opponent, otherwise they can just run away from you, right? um, so you need to have superior engine technology. If you have superior engine technology, you can dictate the terms of the engagement. You don't have to take a fight if you don't want to. Um, Although I say that, and that can not necessarily be true in the sense that you might have faster engines, but you might get really close to the opponent before engaging. Maybe because they don't see you at first, they don't turn on their active sensors or whatever. Um, but then you can end up in a situation where you're trying to retreat, but you're going to be within range of their missiles for a very long time, even though you're running away from them. So you have to be careful about that in general. But if you have faster ships, then you dictate the terms of the engagement. So that's always an advantage. Um, Missiles, of course, travel much faster than ships, but you can still outrange them. But there's more of a question because you know, I might have faster ships, but my missiles might not have a long range. I might not have designed my missiles with a very long range. If you're getting more range on your missiles. And it's not so much the range on the missile itself, although that is relevant, but it's also the range on the fire control and the sensors to be able to detect ships at long range, because that takes a lot of tonnage. So there's a lot of trade-offs in your military designs. So anyways, once you've determined what kind of doctrine you're going to try to use, there's definitely a big challenge is how you're going to deal with enemy missiles is a big deal. How you're going to set up your point defense. It's easy enough to shoot down the long-range anti-ship missiles from the alien ships, but what often happens is the aliens will also make anti-missile ships, and those can straight up kill your ships because in sufficient numbers, like you saw my Beetlejuice design has 24 anti-missile launchers. Now, each one of those missiles only does 1 damage. But that, like, I have 4 of those ships in 1 fleet, which is a pretty small. Like, if I sent my whole navy there, that's maybe 20 of those battle cruisers, each of them shooting 24 size 1 missiles. That can destroy a ship easily, right? There's no way you're going to shoot down 224 missiles that are traveling super fast because they're anti-missile missiles. So you kind of have a challenge, which is how are you going to deal with the last like 20 million kilometers, where suddenly maybe, coming in at 10 million kilometers, you can be shot at by like a bajillion anti-missile missiles. So probably one way to do it is to shoot your own missiles at them to try to force them to deplete their anti-missile missiles, shooting your missiles, and then you can go in. But you got to think about a strategy that works, right? Using fighters can be a way of doing this. You got to think about it. Okay, guys. This looks like a crash to me. Give me a minute here. I'm gonna check a few things. All right, look, I'm gonna keep waiting. I just checked the task manager. Aurora's using like 30% of my CPU, so it's thinking about stuff. So we'll let it think a bit more. Um, well, okay. So in terms of engines, I can tell you what I can tell you what the thought process I use. So in terms of my civilian ships, like my freighters and my cargo ships, so right now, so a civilian engine has to be at least 25 hull size, and at most 50% engine power, right? Um, which actually is quite a decent civilian engine. Now, the thing about going to lower than zero point 0.5 engine power, like you can go down to 0.4, zero point 0.3, the ships get really slow. I mean, they get super fuel efficient, but they get really slow. And sometimes, like, you need your colonists to get there, like, today, right? Um, so that's a downside. You could definitely consider going down to zero point 0.4. It will, if you're struggling for fuel, like it will definitely help on the fuel use of your empire, having much more efficient freighters. It just means it takes longer for stuff to get there. You have to keep that in mind. Um, Also, the larger the engines, the more fuel efficient it is. So, even though it's a pain to refit all your freighters, once you research larger engine sizes, it's probably worth getting size 40, size 60 engines in there because they're just going to be much more fuel efficient than the size 25 ones that you can build at the beginning of the game. Um, yeah, so that's for like commercial engines. Now for military engines, um, you've got to decide first of all what the range of your ships is going to be. Now there's a balance. There's a range of your ship, and there's a speed that you need to have to be effective. Um, I find that it's reasonable to dedicate between 30 and 40% of your total tonnage to engines for a military ship design. And that's what I usually do in my playthroughs, in my builds. Now, the exact percentage there is going to depend. You're probably going to want to use some round number based on the ship sizes that you're going to use. French ferret. The screen is white because Aurora has crashed. But we're hoping that it hasn't crashed and that it's just thinking really hard about all the missiles that it just shot at me. But I'm pretty sure that it crashed. I just don't want to replay the last hour and a half or whatever. Yeah, so, if you're doing like 10,000 ton cruisers, maybe you have 3,000 tons worth of engines or 4,000 tons worth of engines. It depends, right? Now, in terms of range, in this playthrough, I went for for ships that can operate at about 15 billion kilometers. Military ships that could operate at 15 billion kilometers, which is pretty long range for me. In VB6, I would typically do about 10 billion kilometers. So you have to know that the Sol system, to get to Neptune, is about 5 billion kilometers from the inner solar system, which is typically where the jump points are. They're typically way out there. So in order to be able to cover the solar system, you need to have like 10 billion kilometers, right? Because you need to get there and get back. So that's kind of a strict minimum, I think. Now, of course, later on when you have more advanced logistics, you can put tankers with the fleet now, and that makes it a little less bad. But the problem with that is tankers are slow, right? So if you need to deploy your fleet quickly, it's got to be stationed somewhere. It's going to be stationed at Earth. Later, when you have more logistics and like deep space logistics kind of stations set up, then you can have sort of shorter ranged fleets that are already forward positioned, forward deployed. But in general, you kind of have to keep your stuff at your colonies until you get that stuff set up. And then it's kind of a question of what multiplier can you afford to use. So you can research like ×2 engine speed multiplier, but that stuff is going to chew through your fuel. So maybe at first you need to be more like 1.5, 1.7. use those kinds of multipliers. It won't go as fast, but at least, you know, you'll have enough fuel to get there. So that's what I would recommend in terms of fuel efficiency. I mean, you don't need a calculator. You could just multiply the numbers. Like it says it, the numbers are right there when you build the engines. Like you just gotta do, like you could just use the Windows calculator. Right? Like the engine. All right. So guys, okay, this is we're dead here. Ah. All right, we're dead, and this is really unfortunate because I've got like an hour and a half, maybe an hour that I need to play back to get to where we were. I don't know if I want to do that. All right. This is dead. This has never happened before. Okay. I restarted the game, so we've worked back to the last save, which was a bit in the past. I'm a little bummed about this. I don't want to redo this stuff. Maybe I'll try to zoom through it real quick. Because the alternative is I just start a new campaign in 1.9 because we're running an older version of the game here, and maybe this is the universe telling me. All right, you know what we're gonna do? Screw it. I know what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna have fun. We are gonna start. I mean, it was an hour and a half. Honestly, like I've played like many, many more hours in this campaign, but here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna have fun. Because we built all the missiles and stuff, right? That was recent too. Yeah. All right. Here's what we're gonna do: Earth, refuel. Guys, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go say hello to the aliens. Now we're gonna need more fuel than that. We're gonna need. Okay, let's do that first. Let's get the events up here. I need to close these fleets here. All right, first fleet ready to go. Second fleet mostly ready to go. The tanker here is kind of full. Let's detach. Let's detach this tanker. Put it in here. Let's detach this tanker. Also put it there. The reserve fleet fueled up. No tankers here. Good. Okay, let's take a look at the tankers here. Where are you? You're not... Oh, right, you were doing that. All right, let's have these guys get the last bit of fuel from Earth. Nope. Really? You think 1.9 is in bad shape? Hang on, let me check that. Let me check that real quick then. Let me just, I'm gonna just browse through the bug reports on the other screen. Meanwhile, actually, let me run this quickly. Get the fuel. Get the tankers as refueled as can be. What's the fuel situation on Earth now? Did we soak everything up? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, we're gonna send the tankers to Singapore. We're gonna move them here. All right, let's do that. The tankers are slower, which is why we're sending them off first. All right, finish some research rate. Just some research, I should say. This is actually something we could research a bit in the meantime. All right, we're gonna send the fleets, plural. We're gonna merge everything into one big old fleet. And off we go. Just browsing some bug reports. it looks like we're on 1.9.4. Sorry guys, I'm just on the other monitor. I'm reading Okay, I'm not seeing anything crippling here in 1.9.4. I think we should be good to go. But before we do any of that, we're going to have fun with the main fleet. So we should go over to Singapore. All right, here's the fleet. It didn't take long. We're already low on fuel, which is why we send the tankers. Of course, the tankers are taking their time. Should have waited. Yeah, so the whole fleet, even though they have 15 billion in range, can only make it roughly here. And actually, that's interesting. So the whole fuel is, it takes 100 million liters of fuel. And how much fuel do we have in the tankers? Only 78. So we might not even have enough fuel to make this happen, guys. All right, look, we'll try. We're going to try. Okay, look, we're going to just chill out here. Remove all, just wait until the tankers get here. There we go. Okay, tankers. Join and refuel target fleet. What? Oh, I added that, but I had them move there first. Remove all. Okay, let's try that again. Join and refuel target fleet. All right. There we go. They're slowly refueling. Very slowly, and in fact, yeah, some of these ships, I should have perhaps done this slightly differently. We might cheat, by the way, and just refuel everything. Actually, that's exactly what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna cheat right now, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap up this campaign right here, right now. But let's see if we can't cheat a little bit. Now, I don't know where this particular cheat button is. Let me just close the windows here. because I don't want to have to do this ship by ship, although if I have to, I will. Where could I do this? All right, I don't appear to be able to cheat with this, which is a bit annoying. There certainly used to be a way. Let me see if I could figure this out just a moment. Oh, maybe miscellaneous. Oh, well, we could SM move the fleet somewhere. That's a thing we could do. Okay, let's act here. I have a plan, guys. I have a plan. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, but we're gonna. It's kind of like cheating, but kind of not like cheating. Okay, we're gonna do this. Detach. SM move. Oh, that moves it back to Earth. Interesting. Oh, no. Of course, I can choose here where I move it. Great. Okay, we're going to go to... Oh, we have to move it to a colony. All right, well, in that case... Hey, guys, there's a colony on Colombo 5. Oh, no, that's a gas giant. Well, let's make a colony... Right. Might need to refresh this window here. All right. Now we're gonna have this fleet go here. Refuel from stationary tankers. We're actually going to use the fuel that we legitimately own and produced. We just didn't quite have the time to move it. Excellent. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I like it. Let's here, let's watch them work. I'm just going to move this over here. So they're going to refuel. I think there's an interrupt happening. No, okay, they're working. You can see the tankers are mostly refueled. I actually think that's as much fuel as we have. I'll do another time increment. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and now what we're going to do, or actually we're going to only take the ones that have fuel. These guys, detach. SM move fleet, we're going to go to Eliun. And from here, we're going to move. So what I did is I used the cheating to move them around. But we didn't actually create fuel that we didn't have. Okay, now if we go back to the first fleet, it should be refueled in not too long. Oh wait, the tankers aren't here yet. Well, they'll be there in a moment. Hang on, let's move to the right system. Let's go back to Singapore. Yeah, okay, so the tankers joined. There we go. Okay, the fleet is refueled. Guys, we did it. All right, now, first fleet, go here. Then, okay, move there. Detach tankers, standard transit. Now, before we do this, we should probably set up our fleet so it doesn't do really dumb stuff. So first of all, what we're going to do is... Yeah. So let's... I'm going to turn some active sensors on two of the Antares 1 and the Antares 2. Now, what we should do is we should also auto FC. And let's see if that made sense. So I put the PD here. That worked well. Yeah, it looks like it divided everything here. This is good. All this looks good. The Cassiopeias looks good. The Polaris looks good. Okay, the fire controls all got assigned properly. We're ready to go. All right, let's do it. It's going to detach and we're going to jump. All right, we jumped. We're in N'Djamena. Okay, we're here. We got to make our way into the system, so let's do it. We're actually going to turn on the actives on a couple of the Beetlejuice escort cruisers too, because they've got the missile. They've got pretty long-range missile detection. So let's do that. Okay, first fleet, we're going to have you move into... We're going to use the same waypoints we set up earlier. Guys, let's see what happens. You know what we're going to do? We're going to save right now. All right, here we go. Okay, we've made hostile contact. Okay, that's interesting. So this is one of the ships, one of the latest ships that we've discovered, and they move faster than us, which is a problem, as you might imagine, because it means we can't catch up to them. Now, just to be clear, my fastest ships are my Polaris frigates, and they move at 78, almost 78, 79K. This is the range of my missiles. It is not far enough, so that's a problem. We know of a number of ships, but this is the Brandenburg here. Yeah, we don't know much about them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to see if we can't catch up to this fleet in particular. So let's move towards them. Let's move towards them but with a minimum distance of like we can get within missile range, let's say. So let's go to 19 million kilometers. Let's see if we can close the distance. We might not be able to. And we're going to slow this down, so we're going to go at like an hour. Okay, I'm going to interrupt this. Yeah, so they're running away from us. Okay, so we're chasing them, but we're slow. But this is okay. So they spotted us really far out, and then they're running. They're faster than us, so they're like running away. They're scared of our fleet. Yeah, let's watch this. So we're chasing them. We're slow. We can't catch up. We lost sight of the contact. Interesting. Okay, well, let's resume. Let's head into the center of the system. I'm sure we'll run into we'll find more, we'll encounter more hostile contacts soon enough. This is 1 hour movement ticks, by the way. Wow, no hostile contacts at all. Okay. Curious. Let's move into Germania 2. There are the contacts. Okay. So there's a number of contacts here that we know very little about. And what I expect is going to happen is we're going to face a flurry of missiles sooner rather than later. They might be defending this colony. That might be what's happening. Right now, you can see as we get closer, we're learning more and more about their ships. So we're figuring out the tonnage. So looks like 10,000 is the lighter ships that they have. I'm expecting missiles sort of any time now. Okay, it's missile time. I mean, not that we would know this, but let me just... Well, all the lasers... Yeah, all our PDs set to... is good to go. The game is moving now in 15-second increments. Here we go. Here's the first missile volley. Okay, so by the way, so their missiles are about 50 million kilometer range missiles. They seem to have faster missiles than ours. It also looks like the first volley of missiles, our PD didn't fire, and it's supposed to fire even when the fire control isn't on, even when the open fire isn't on. But that didn't seem to, because it's on final defensive fire, but that didn't seem to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I wanted to test that. Now I know that that's the case. So we're just going to open fire fleet. Oh, well, that doesn't seem appropriate. Open fire fleet. Huh. Okay. I mean, there's another way that we could do this, which is we could just do this. Normally it's supposed to go orange. Oh, this is weird. So there's some problem. Probably the reason the ships didn't fire is because, like, there's some problem in the database somewhere, because if I have this, no, but it's not so much my PD. Ceasefire fleet didn't have, but like these should turn red when you do open fire. But it's giving me this error, function 2737. Let me do a quick search here. Okay, somebody did report this bug. But I don't see a reply to it. You think... Could be. Could be that so if, well, but then why didn't they shoot? Why didn't my laser PD shoot is the question then. All right, let's do a 5-second increments here, and let's see if my laser PD is gonna fire. We're experimenting here. I don't really care if we win or lose this fight. Just with our laser PD, which is gonna fire here. Okay, here we go. Okay, it did work this time. See, we destroyed all the missiles. So this, by the way, this is what happened the first time. The Antares was attacked by missiles, and they were just like attacked by missiles. So it could be that the time increment... No, it should have... Yeah, it could be that it was just because it was the first missile salvo, and I kind of warped right into them, and there was a weird thing with like... But that's what the whole time increment slowing down is supposed to do. Anyways, our PD is more than enough to handle these missile volleys. So let's charge in. So if we do here again, yeah, see, we just shoot down all the missiles out of the sky each time. So the PD works. It's just for some reason that first volley got through undetected. So that's okay. We'll just so now we gotta slowly make our way forward. So we're just shooting down all the missiles as they come. This is just our quad laser PD. We're not using any of our anti-missile missiles for this. Okay, that was this initial volley of missiles. So let's move forward and see what the next thing we encounter is. Incidentally, we took some damage. We should make sure that damage control. Here, let's see what happens if we click automated damage control. Oh, we can also SM repair all, which I feel we should kind of do, given that, you know, it's kind of bullshit that our PD didn't fire. But all we lost. Oh, we actually lost one of the turrets here, which is unfortunate. The other one just lost some armor. Still, let's keep going here. I'm gonna do 2-minute increments. I think we're gonna have missiles again. Oh, so some of them are moving now. I wonder if they're moving towards us or away from us. In any case, there are missiles, but these are also size 6 missiles, and there's only 5 of them. So this seems like smaller salvos. I'm pretty sure we can handle these with our PD. Yep, no problem. By the way, these when we shoot these quad lasers on final fire, the tech isn't like super advanced. It's like 12,000 kilometers per second tracking speed on a turret, but the chance to hit is still like 40%. So it's a pretty high chance to hit for this system. I'm used to using. I often use a lot of Gauss PD, and there you have like maybe 11% chance to hit. But of course, you have many more guns shooting because they're so tiny. Those are the really miniaturized Gauss turrets. Like I use the like they're like 0.1, almost like a tenth of a size point per. So they're really small. But cannot complain about this point defense system yet. So if anybody was wondering why, because I saw this question before, is like why miniaturize your missile silos? Because the recharge rate, when you miniaturize your missile silos, the recharge rate goes through the roof. Well, you can see that here the NPRs they're shooting missiles at me every 15 seconds, but it doesn't matter. I can blow them all out of the sky because my guns can recharge. They can fire every 5 or 10 or 15 seconds, whatever. What matters is having a critical number that can overwhelm the opponent's point defense system. And they do not. Now, you know, would they be able to overwhelm my PD if they, you know, if let's say they did reduce size and were able to fit 3 times as many missiles, it still wouldn't be enough in that particular case. But if you have like a volley with all your ships firing together, then maybe you can make something happen. Oh, looks like all right, sorry. I thought my stream had a hiccup there for a minute, but I think we're good. More incoming missiles. But you can see here they're shooting 2 missiles, so they've kind of run out of missiles on their main. Well, whatever ships were firing missiles, they've run out now. Now there's just from the time increments, I can tell there's another volley of missiles incoming. Okay, still a small volley. So I think there was just a fluke there. Oh, now we're back to. I mean, it's a size 5. Sorry, it's a 5 missile volleys. But see, like these, all these missiles are just useless. Like sending them every 15 seconds, 5 at a time, they can just be shot down very easily by my point defense. If you can send, 100 missiles every hour, but they actually get through the PD and destroy a ship, and that's much better. Well, I was going to switch up to more than 5 seconds, but it looks like we still have a few missiles to chew through. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get within my own missile range, and let's test their point defense system. Okay, looks like we kind of made it. Now let's take a look at these designs here. So we've got we don't really know. Yeah, we don't know much about these. Okay, let's take a look at our fleet. Movement orders. Follow. We'll have it at a distance of 18 million kilometers. Let's do that. Now, it looks like auto PD seems to have worked. Now we have a limited number of volleys here. So what I'm going to do is, here are the contacts we can choose from. We have the Osberg. Okay, let me bring this up on the other screen here. So we have the Osberg is a 19,000 ton ship. We don't know what it does. The Baden-Württemberg is a 28,000 ton ship. The Bayern is a 10,000 ton ship. Brandenburg is also 10,000 tons. The Bremen, 18 1,000 tons. The Emden, 9,000 tons. The Erfurt, 19,000. The Gneisenau is 19,000. The Graf Spee is 10,000, well, like 9,000, and then the Hessen is 18,000. So I don't know which one we're going to target first. Let's go for, I mean, let's be ambitious. Let's just shoot one volley. We'll just go for the Augsburg because it's the first one on the list. So I'm just going to have, we're just going to shoot you know, we're going to do this. We're going to assign, oh, that's weird. But it did allow me to assign it finally. Still giving me this error message. Okay, this time it worked. A little mysterious, but look. It worked, okay? So we're going to do open fire fleet. All right. So we're going to shoot a volley here and see what happens, guys. We did not shoot a volley, and that is because we're not in range. Maybe they have ECM. Well, we'll see once we get within range. I'm sure we'll fire. Okay, this is awkward. Let's assume that it's because of ECM. And therefore, let's go into like 12 million kilometers. Still mysteriously not firing. I did do open fire, right? This guy is there. He's a contact. I mean, what if we swapped to a different contact? And what if I did this? Copy. These error messages are worrying me. The second one works. The first one doesn't work, which is really weird. And I also don't know what this max 0 kilometer is. Oh, guys. It didn't load the missiles. We auto assigned the fire controls, but we didn't auto assign the missiles to the missile tubes. That's why it's not firing. It's because the missile tubes are like, well, I don't know what missile you want me to shoot. Okay. I'm sure there's a button to do this somewhere, perhaps in the design, which I did not do. See, and now the range is updating correctly. Alright, that was it. Turns out it's my fault. Okay, so let's assign all. So let's just make sure. Yeah, okay, that copied everywhere. Good. Okay. Well, okay, so now we're going to shoot this Baden-Württemberg, and let's see what happens. We also don't need to be moving in this close. So let's just chill out here at, let's say, 17 million kilometers. Okay, now we should fire. There's our volley. Okay, let's see if our volley does anything. Now, this volley might be complete overkill. Looks like they've responded with their own volley. Gonna automate this. Yeah, we got rid of theirs pretty quickly. Just going in 5-second increments. I'm very curious to see, like, is this overwhelming, way too much? Is this just enough? Is this completely nowhere near enough? We're gonna find out pretty soon. Trying to zoom in here. Here we go. Okay, let's bring up the events. Oh, shit, stop. Guys, game was still running. Okay. Gotta scroll back up. Okay, interesting. All right, see, so we learned something. Okay, so this is it. These two lines of combat, there's all the information we get. But, so we had a total of 11 Cassiopeias, I believe, firing 12 missiles each for 132 total things, right? Yeah, because 5 plus 127 is 132. Okay, so we shot 132 missiles. There were 127 energy weapon impacts of strength 1, which means they shot down, out of my 132 missiles, they shot down 127. 5. It's saying energy weapon impact strength 16, but strength 16 should not be an energy weapon impact. This is the missile that impacted, because it has a strength of 16. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Now, I don't see that we did any damage, but there's no longer an active sensor coming from it, so it's possible we actually did damage. Okay, this is cool. Next thing I want to do is we're going to move in. We have more missile volleys, by the way, but let's move in to like 5 million kilometers. And we're probably going to get destroyed by anti-missile missiles, but I didn't see any anti-missile missiles coming from them, so that's why I'm very curious to see if this is going to work. Okay, yeah, we got to shoot some of their missiles. Fine. Oh shit! I forgot to turn that fire control off. Okay, so we've launched a second volley, but that's okay. Although at this point, I want to conserve my missiles, maybe for something else. Let's go ahead and ceasefire all, which then assign fleet. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, I mean, let's see what happens with these missiles. We only got 3 missiles in that time. Yeah, so see, they have pretty damn effective PD as well. Which goes to show, I wasn't sure if I should go for like, size 12 missiles, size 6 missiles, and I went for size 12 missiles that do 16 damage. Maybe they had like better evasion, but it just goes to show that numbers are so important. I mean, you need numbers, but you also need like speed and agility. The actual damage of your missiles is probably a lot less important because most of them are not going to make it through. If you're putting on extra size to get more damage, then that's kind of wrong because it means that you're not. That size could be more missiles, which is more likely to actually cause damage by getting through the PD screen. Let me get the events up here so we can just keep track of what's happening. Okay. Oh, we actually are within 5 million kilometers. Okay, let's move in closer. I mean, actually, let's just move in to like 150,000. Well, to be honest, my guns, most of my firepower, I only built a few Cassiopeias at the last minute. My actual firepower are these Polaris frigates. So we're going to try to get in range. Okay, so this is what we're worried about. It's the anti-missile missiles. This is always the challenge. See, but that's interesting. They didn't use, or maybe they did, but I don't know. They didn't use the anti-missile missiles to shoot down the missiles that I shot at them. All right, well, look. We're just going to have... I mean, there's no way we shoot this down. I mean, we can try. Obviously, we will try. So I don't even know which of their ships is shooting that. Oh, maybe I do now. Actually, maybe I got some new intelligence. Not really. We know they're ECM. I mean, I can shoot my AMMs at their AMMs, but their AMMs are much better than mine. In fact, their tech is kind of much better than mine in general. All right, let's see how much this is going to hurt. Actually, you can see right here, nuclear detonations. We only shot down half of it. Now, you know, this isn't going to do too much damage. It's going to hit armor mostly. So here you see we shot down a bunch of missiles. But then damage report, they shot the Cassiopeia. So, you know, stuff got hit. But, yeah. We actually shot down a lot of stuff that turn. We might make it through this barrage. Maybe not. Well, we'll definitely try. Events, sorry. They're shooting down the Cassiopeias, which is okay because the Cassiopeias are not proving to be incredibly effective here. Oh yeah, good. Let me. Well, actually, the Cassiopeias don't have a lot of armor, but so these guys were damaged before. But if we look here at the armor, see, because they're all strength 1, they're anti-missile missiles, so they're just peppering the hull. So we're doing okay, guys. We're still doing okay. These are the jump cruisers and the escort cruisers have like 5 layers of armor, so we're fine. We want them to get targeted. Oh, looks like we got some secondary explosions here. Who got? Oh, the Cassiopeia 2 just got blown to bits. Now, normally I would be like, oh, let's save the people and all that stuff, but we're wrapping up this campaign, so I just want to see what happens if we getting close finally. Okay, who did they hit this time? Cassiopeia 1. So they really just targeted down the same 2 ships, which is honestly the best scenario for me. Now they hit the Cassiopeia 3. Okay, guys, if they're hitting my missile cruisers, I'm happy. Yeah. Another hit on the Cassiopeia 3. Cassiopeia 1 was destroyed. Cassiopeia 4 was hit this time. Cassiopeia 3 was destroyed. Cassiopeia 4 was hit again, but not destroyed. Cassiopeia 5 damaged. We have 11 Cassiopeias, by the way. Cassiopeia... Oh, no, nothing happened. Cassiopeia 4 was destroyed. By the way, we have to get within range of this outer bubble. That's where we're trying to get within range of. Cassiopeia 5 damaged. Cassiopeia 6 damaged. Cassiopeia 5 damaged. Cassiopeia 5 destroyed. Cassiopeia 6 damaged. Cassiopeia 6 destroyed. Cassiopeia 7 damaged. Cassiopeia 7 damaged again. Cassiopeia 7 destroyed. Cassiopeia 8 damaged. Also, Beetlejuice 1 damaged. This is actually a good time, by the way, for me to turn on all the active sensors. Let me do that quickly. Maybe I can do that here. Maybe not. I don't know. But let's do that quickly. Honestly, it's just these guys that need it. But I'll show you now. The Beetlejuice 1 is taking hits, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna turn a bunch of active sensors on. Just for redundancy, doesn't really matter. Okay. Yeah, the Beetlejuice 1 is now taking missile hits, but I mean, bring it, right? We can definitely take it. Okay, Cassiopeia 8 was destroyed. Cassiopeia 8... Yeah, that was Cassiopeia 8 destroyed. Cassiopeia 9 was damaged. We have some updates on their ships. I guess we're getting close. Now we know. Oh shit, they have they have so much better tech than us. Oh, but just a second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Okay, this is key. We have Well, okay, so I have good news and bad news. So first of all, this is very bad news. But this is good news. So we have discovered who it is that is shooting all these size 1 missiles. So it is the Erfurt and the Bremen. So these should be our targets. However, the Baden-Württemberg have a crazy amount of firepower. Their lasers have massive damage, and it's also much longer range than ours. So I don't know how many Polaris do we have? We've got 33. Each one has one spinal. That's only like... Guys, we are going to get wrecked. We're going to get wrecked. Okay, here's what we do. We are going to use the Cassiopeias again. But we're also going to use the Beetlejuice, and we're going to shoot everything we have at the at these Baden-Württembergs, because they are going to destroy us with those lasers. So, open fire all. Yeah, maybe I should have shot all these missiles as I was running in, but anyways, too late now. Now, we're not going to do point defense. We're actually going to shoot this at a dude. Like so. And let's assign fleet. Okay, targets assigned. Open fire all. Assign fleet. All right. So we're going to do our own fire everything we have. Yeah, we might also have, they might also have a ton of STO, by the way, which is a problem. Okay, let's let's move forward in time. Okay, so there are our missiles. Take that. Now I'm actually going to turn off, we're going to cease fire here. We've only got a few volleys of that, and I do want to measure the impact that that's going to have. So let's just see what happens. On our side, we lost another, Cassiopeia 9 was damaged. Okay, let's see. We're very close to weapons range, and they haven't shot us with their lasers, which is curious. We need to start assigning targets here. So we need to go class design. No, we need to go ship combat. Oh, why didn't it assign a weapon? That's weird. Okay, if we do this... Okay, yeah, that's weird how that weapon wasn't assigned. We're going to get in range in just a second, so we're going to open fire all and see if that does anything. So this next time increment is going to be pretty epic. Here goes. All right, let's parse through what happened here. I don't know yet. Let's take a look. Combat summary. Okay. 24 AMMs. Chance to hit 92%, damage per hit 1. Armor hits 23. So all these missiles hit. They all hit the armor. Actually, a surprising number of, not all the missiles hit, a surprising number of missiles were shot down by PD. But yeah, okay, so they have armor basically. Now all of our Polaris. Oh, the chance to hit is almost nothing because we're just out of range. So we're going to have to move in a bit closer because they probably have some ECM. Now, they also shot at us. And they're shooting at the Beetlejuice 1. But the armor is eating a good chunk of it. All right, so our shots were just... we shot at max range, and it was just too far away. So we're going to have to track in a bit closer here. They've also shot a new volley of missiles. All right, so what needs to happen here is the fleet has to... Okay, we're going to focus on... We're going to move here, even though we're going to target a different one. And we're going to close to like 100,000. Which is going to be like, we're going to get hurt a lot, but we'll see if that does anything. Now, actually, if we go also here to the intelligence window. Oh, they only have one armor? I mean, look, I'll take it. The Airford appears to be like a missile defense platform because the maximum size is 1. Because the maximum speed is 1. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can concentrate fire here. So we're going to have the Beetlejuices. You're going to open fire. Assign fleet. Yes. I'm going to shoot another volley of AMMs. And we're going to have the Polaris focus fire on that same first ship. And we're going to assign fleet. It's going to take it's going to take 15 seconds, I think, to recharge. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Next 5 seconds. So we launched missiles. We shot down a bunch of missiles, and nothing hit us. Another 5 seconds. We're shooting down missiles still. This is like the AMMs are flying everywhere. The Beetlejuice 1 was damaged. The Cassiopeia 9 was destroyed. The Beetlejuice 16 was damaged. Okay, that's what happened. If we look here at our fleet, Beetlejuice 16, armor status, yeah. And let's get automated damage control going here. All right, we're still trucking. Here we go. Okay, next 5 seconds. A bunch of our missiles landed on the Wittenberg 1. 78 of our missiles landed. 77 hits. I mean, 77 hit the armor. One missile actually hit a system. Now, the our Polaris frigates also shot. Now we're at 100,000 kilometers. Our chance to hit is like, you can see, between 40 and 50%. Most of these hits are armor hits. We got 2 penetrating hits. We appear to have information now on more of their guys. So let's take a quick look here. The Amdem, the buy. Okay, let's take a look here. We have a better idea of who's got what missiles. Okay, so the Augsburg is their missile cruiser. This is a small missile cruiser. This one had also a few missiles. More missiles. Okay, so we've learned that more of these guys shoot missiles. Okay, what we're actually going to do now is we are going to move a bit closer, because it turns out my PD system has a range of 90,000 kilometers. So we are going to have the fleet contacts. Follow this within 75,000 kilometers. And then we're also going to start using our quad laser PD batteries to try to just sandblast this Baden-Württemberg, which we obviously still haven't hit their engines, but look, we're trying, guys. So we're actually going to time increment forward once first. We shot another volley of AMMs, which is cool. Let's see what else happened, though, here. We probably got shot at a bit. Yeah. See, the thing is, our PD is actually shooting down a lot of missiles. But I'm thinking at this point, we just need to take the armor hits. Because we got a lot of armor. We lost the Beetlejuice too. Okay. We gained some intel on this Württemberg ship. Yeah, so it does have 2 armor at least, right? Alright, this is pretty tense. Okay, now though, we are... Oh, we're not quite within weapons range. Oh no, we are. Oh, interesting. So wait. They've got ships here. Right, okay. These ships are on the planet, and then they're coming out to... Oh, guys, they're moving towards us. Good for them. Okay, so we're within range now. And we're actually trying to outrange them. This is good. So we're faster. They think they're trying to close the range with us. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to assign all of our point defense. And you might say, but wait a minute. Won't you not be able to shoot down their missiles? That is correct. But honestly, their missiles are just mostly doing damage to our armor. Oh yeah, I should have... Yeah, okay, here. We'll use the Beetlejuice 5 as a template. Now, these lasers only do 1 damage in the best of situations. And open fire... Okay. Let's just make sure we turn more random active sensors, because whatever. Okay, let's see, guys, what happens in this next increment. Oh man, look at that computer think. All right. Combat summary. Okay, so some of the PD still went off as PD. Interesting. All right, we got a whole bunch of hits on the Baden-Württemberg 1. 19 penetrating hits. I think we got the engines. We got 92 nuclear detonation strength 1, 88 energy weapon strength 2. Okay. Yeah, and then all our lasers hit it. We got 23 more penetrating hits. Guys, I mean, maybe we might actually kill one of these ships. That would be something. Yeah, look, we got its engines. All right, we also lost a ship, but, you know, these things happen. Okay, we went another... Oh, guys, I think we destroyed them. Yes, our PD guns finally destroyed that ship. Okay, it's a scary ship because it's the one with the big scary lasers. So let's see. Let's bring up the events here just to read clearly. Yeah, we destroyed the target. Sweet. Okay, now damage report. Beetlejuice 3 took a beating. Beetlejuice 1 took a beating. So let's take a look here. Oh, Beetlejuice 1 was destroyed. That's unfortunate. But see, that's what I mean. Like, we can take AMM fire all day long on these ships. They have tons of armor. Now what we need to do is retarget everything. So this needs to now be the Baden-Württemberg 2. Assign fleet. Then this here has to be Baden-Württemberg 2. Assign fleet. I don't think their STO kicked in. Let's take another look. Okay, so we've switched targets. Okay, so we don't know what they have on the ground. Well, STO ground forces, signature, ground forces, whatever. These are planetary defense stations of some sort. But if we look here on the damage that was caused to me, we were just attacked by missiles. The only thing that's hitting us is size 1 missiles. Okay, they're running back to the planet. Fair enough. Beetlejuice 1 taking more damage. our PD is like at its maximum range. So we haven't quite pierced there. We lost a ship. Let's see which one. Yeah, we're just getting armor. Still on the Battenberg 2. We lost the Antares 1. Okay, looks like they're launching missiles again. Okay, we did another good round of like 58 damage. We got 2 penetrating hits, so I think we've started to melt some of the armor. Looks like we're launching another round of AMMs. The Antares 2 has taken some damage. In fact, it has suffered a catastrophic failure and has exploded. These were ships that were damaged already in the first launch. When we, that weird first missile salvo. Okay, so what's interesting here is that they're moving away from their planet here. So the I'm shooting down the Baton-Württembergs because I'm afraid of their laser guns. But what's actually killing me is the missiles. So what we're gonna do here, because if we look here, we've immobilized the Baton-Württemberg 2. We got enough damage done that we got its engines. So what I'm actually going to do now is we're going to destroy this Erfurt, which is shooting a ton of missiles at us. So let's retarget. Click through all these error messages. I'll let the AMMs shoot down the Baden-Württemberg 2. Okay, now the question is, where do we move the fleet? Maybe we hold position here. Okay, let's take a look at, so Erfurt, Augsburg. What does the Augsburg do? It shoots big missiles, but they haven't shot any of those in a while, so that's fine. What does the Gneisenau do? We don't know what it does. Can't be that important, right? Brandenburg. also unknown. Oh wait, but that's the ship. This is like one of the fast ships. I'm just worried. I don't want to get with too close because if they have like actual PD guns, then we'll just get melted by their PD. So what we're gonna do is we're going to stay within, like, let's say, I've been doing 75, so let's keep that going just from the planet itself. All right. So let's see what happened here. Yeah, they're kind of yo-yoing back and forth, but that's okay. The Erfurt, yeah, we hit a lot. We lost the Antares 3. Looks like yeah, the Woudenberg is they dropped. Yeah, they left it. They detached it back there. Okay, that's good. We're gonna finish off the Erfurt, or try to. Haven't quite pulled it off. Antares 4 took hits to its armor. We destroyed the Baden-Württemberg 2. So what I'm thinking now is let's start. Yeah, let's see if we can finish off this Erfurt. So everybody's still targeted on it, right? Yeah, let's just switch the AMMs over as well. There we go. Wreck of Erfurt Class 2. Excellent. Now, if we look back at the intel, the Bremen are the other ones that shoot size 1 missiles. So if we want to stop dying to stuff, we need to target those as well. So no more Erfurts, right? Good. But there's a Bremen. Okay. Let's see what happened. The Antares 4 took a beating. Although now, you'll notice now there's almost no incoming fire. Like, we really should... Well, there's something... I'm not getting shot at by his big laser cruiser, and I'm really curious why that is. However, that's why I was targeting that ship first. But now that I've destroyed their AMM missile platform, we're not taking a lot of damage. Oh, I didn't mean to close that window. Looks like we didn't quite destroy it. Got armor hits. Oh, the Bremen might have moved out of range. They might have flown away with it. Let's see. Damage report. The Antares 4. They shot the Antares 4. Yeah, it's still those missiles. Yeah, that's the ship there. I still don't want to get within PD range of the planet here. We just don't know what these... You know what? Now my laser guns will go back to PD mode, and I'm fine with that. Knock out a few more missiles out of the sky. See, yeah, these are the missiles that the Bremen is shooting. Yeah, so it's complaining that the target's out of range. That's fine. We launched missiles. Okay, nothing else happened here. One penetrating hit on the Bremen. Antares 5 is taking a beating from the Bremen itself, but like they've moved back into range, so I think this next increment... Oh, they're dancing back and forth. As soon as the Polaris... Yeah, the Polaris got some good shots off here. Okay. We're launching our own AMMs. So we've gotten part of the engines on the Bremen. And I think... There we go. Wreck of the Bremen class. Okay. We're pretty safe now. No more missiles will be coming our way. And I think that means, generally speaking, we will stop taking damage, basically. Which is amazing. Now, there's still a ship there that has some nasty guns, this one. So let's shoot it down. Damage report. Got 55 hits total. Okay, so the Antares 5 is taking damage. And these are, yeah, okay. So this is the Baden-Württemberg. It is shooting this, like these hits here, 9 penetrating hits, 62 damage. These are the massive lasers being shot from this ship. So I wasn't crazy. It was doing damage. I wasn't seeing it in all the spam. As a reminder, this ship is pretty nasty, right? It's got 1 spinal and then 20 non-spinal lasers, but each of these lasers is like one of my frigates. So this is a massive source of damage. I do think that overall the AMMs were doing more damage to me, so I switched, to targeting the AMM shooting ships, which was probably a good idea. It also means that now my PD guns can freely shoot to do damage. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So we still have to shoot down this last vessel of theirs. Not their last vessel, but the last one that's actually doing damage to me. And let's look at what happened. Okay, yeah, we're doing a ton of damage to them. Penetrating hits 5. I think it'll probably die next round. Yeah. Target destroyed. However, the Antares 5 was also destroyed. Oh, shit. Okay, so interesting. Okay, look, here the Hessen has PD guns that are shooting at... They've moved on to us. And some Polaris... Okay, so what's happened here is I left my my fleet stationary here, and I let the enemy close in on me. And this was a mistake. So what we need to do is... contacts, pick like any one of these, but it could be the Hessen 2, for example, and follow at, whatever, 70. This is what we were doing before. So I wasn't paying attention to their fleet movements, and they moved beyond the planet, and now they're within range. They're doing the same thing I was doing. They're closing in with their PD guns. And they have just kind of wrecked some of my ships with PD. Is what has happened. So we lost some Antares and some Polaris for the first time. But this fight is over. Like I've got faster ships. Here, I could reassign. The thing is, I'm gonna end the stream right now. But yeah, I'm kind of happy at how this turned out in the end. I learned some. Let's end with some closing thoughts here about like what we've learned about this military engagement and sort of our doctrine. So besides the weird like bug where I got hit by that opening missile salvo, I think that had to do with just the timing speed. I should have slowed down the game a bit more before that. My bad. The PD worked great. Our PD system worked fine. I didn't have to use the AMMs for PD. I didn't have to use my AMMs for anti-missile duty. Honestly, the NPR ships tend to have like tons of AMMs and some high speed, like so they have high quality missiles, but they don't shoot them in overwhelming numbers. I don't feel like AMMs are a key system necessarily that I need to deploy, is kind of my current thinking. Now, this would be different if they were using fighters. I think AMMs are fantastic against fighters. Um, but I don't know. I think that that's something I could do. I could do without. Um, I think I need to keep. So bringing overwhelming PD energy weapons is great. I often do Gauss PD, but the problem is that Gauss PD cannot be used at range. Like the range sucks. So I actually kind of like these quad laser PD systems that I was using because when you're getting into the nitty gritty of it, you can shoot them at 80,000 kilometers or whatever with my garbage tech, right? So, I mean, you can have a hybrid system. You can have like PD Gauss, and then you could have a few extra, um, you could have a few extra like laser PD as well. But I kind of like this system for PD, like PD that is effective PD, but that can also be used at when you get into close in combat, but not like last minute close in combat, right? Like not like 20,000 kilometer close, but like 50 or 70, 80,000 kilometer close. Um, Now my Polaris frigates were effective, um, but so the laser weapon system does very high damage if you get in close. At long range, it's not doing great damage. And if you're getting close, you've kind of already won, I feel. So in the previous playthrough, I went for particle lances, and I kind of think I like that better. I kind of prefer the doctrine where I'm staying at range, at maximum range and shooting. Now, of course, once we were closing in at 70,000, then that's when actually my spinals were probably doing a lot more damage there. So that's probably not true. Um, when we were engaging the enemy at about 70, 75,000 kilometers, the spinals were probably wrecking their shit. But again, it's kind of like we win more, like we'd already won at that point. When the engagement is touchy, is like, okay, he's got AMM firing ships, but he's also got those 3 battleships with all those scary lasers. Um, if you have particle lancers, you can fight scary lasers because their scary lasers at max range don't do a lot of damage, but your particle lances do their same max damage at max range. So to me, that seems like a more interesting doctrine. Now, one thing I would definitely add is microwaves, which disrupt enemy targeting. Now, we didn't have any like ECM, which would be nice to have, but that takes a lot of research. But microwaves would have been really cool. Adding a couple ships with some microwave guns to scramble their firing controls and their sensors would have been deadly, because then you don't have to destroy the big beefy battleship, with a ton of effective hit points that's shooting the lasers. You can just microwave it and then focus on another ship. So I think that's another thing I'd really like to add. In terms of my own missiles, I mean, you saw I shot 132 missiles at them. 5 went through. So that tells me that size 12 missiles that hit a lot are a really bad choice. I should go with the smallest missile that I can fit that can do like some damage, right? I'm seeing on the NPR ships like maybe 2 armor sometimes, not much more. We don't need a ton of armor pen, so I'm going to look at a much smaller missile design. Or it could be like a MIRV. It could be like an exploding warhead that carries many other missiles. If I was going for range, that could be a thing too. If I was going for like a long-range bombardment strategy, I would maybe have like a really big torpedo that travels a long distance pretty slowly, and then explodes and releases a payload of smaller missiles that try to track to the target. But honestly, you could just do a ton of small missiles. Yeah. Now we haven't gotten into like facts or fighters or stuff like that, which I think could definitely see some use. Like if you need to get in range, if you're like I have 20 million range kilometers here, right? But what if they have, like, what if we can't get within range? Then fighters armed with, like bombers, basically, fighters with missiles are a great way to get within range because they can't be, they're very hard to detect. So they can get within range, deploy the missiles, and come back out. The logistics are a bit more of a pain, and you need more tech to do it, but that's definitely an option. Yeah, I mean, this is like early game, early tech kind of warfare, but I'm pretty happy with, how this kind of turned out. And by the way, if we look at our fleet, like we lost, well, at the end, we were losing a lot of Antares. So this tells me that, yeah, you need the armor should not be underestimated. Stack that armor on those ships. Because the dead, if you put all the fancy components, oh, sorry, I should have clicked that. If you put all sorts of fancy components on your ships and then they blow up, then those fancy components are worthless. So fewer components, more armor is a good idea. All right, I gotta go. It is time to eat for me. But thank you all for watching. And yeah, exactly. Vorsey says goes for smaller missiles, meets huge armored tanks next time. Yeah, maybe. But then it's an economic war, right? Then it's like, well, how many missiles can I make? Then you're leveraging your economy. So I'm going to use this as an excuse to wrap up this campaign. I would have liked to do a few more. There are a few more things I didn't get the chance to play around with, which are like kind of forward deployment stations and things like that. But yeah, we're going to wrap up this campaign. I'm going to take advantage of the later patches, later releases of the game. Iron out a few more, play with a few fewer bugs. And that's going to be it for now. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll catch you guys at a later time. Take care.